Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, we are here at a global AI summit to speak about one of the most intriguing, one of the most important, and one of the most impactful topics in the year in 2026. It's using, adopting, utilizing, and mitigating also the risks of utilizing and using AI in the field of education. We know the enormous amount of pressure which education systems globally have, and the new technologies are delivering a promise, but in the same time, parallel to that, a number of unanswered questions, which is very natural because we are witnessing a escalating path and speed of the technology where we have no clue from the technology development perspective what will be the functionality of those tools in 6 months' time, in 9 months' time. However, education system needs to be here for 5 years, for 10 years, for 25 years, and make sure that the system and engine is delivering the best result. Without further ado, I would like to kick off with our event today and give a floor for opening remarks to His Excellency, President of Republic of Estonia, Mr. Alar Karis, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, AI has already arrived in our schools. Students and teachers are using AI on a daily basis, often more readily than the education system is able to respond to it. The question, therefore, is not whether AI is used, but whether it is used knowingly, critically, and responsibly by everyone, not only by most tech-savvy. In Estonia, we view data literacy and digital literacy as the foundations of our democracy, economy, and security. They are not merely narrow IT competencies, but a new basic levels of skills enabling people to understand how decisions are made, how data are used, and what their rights are in the digital environment. That is why Estonia is launching Estonia's AI Leap, a national push to bring practical AI skills and new learning tools into education at speed and at scale. Our aim is for the majority of our population to gain basic AI skills and for at least half to do so to an international intermediate level. We introduce AI-based tools in education, but are fully aware that technology in itself does not change education. People do. That is why we are systematically investing in digital competence for teachers, in retraining school leaders, and in lifelong learning. Our approach is all-encompassing, from primary education to further training. Teachers are not just technology users, but agents of digital change who decide whether innovation becomes real improvement. Just as we have built our digital governance around serving the citizens, we are building AI use in education around serving learning. Alongside implementation, we are launching a research program to investigate the impact of our AI Leap. We need to know AI's effect on learning outcomes, equity, teacher workload, digital well-being, and the quality of classroom practice. We need evidence on what works, for whom, and under what conditions. Only then we can improve fast and share what we learn internationally. At the same time, the use of AI in education must be transparent and ethical. Learners need to know when AI is being used, understand what it can do, what it cannot do, and what risks it carries. Transparency builds trust, and trust generates willingness to learn and experiment. What it means is practical terms in Estonia is the development of central platform for digital training, the creation of digital academy, and availability of uniform learning materials. Our aim is for everyone, regardless of age or background, to be able to find a way to foster the digital literacy that works for them. And because Estonia is a small language space, we know AI can do of two things. It can marginalize languages and cultures, or it can strengthen them. We support small language models, open language data, and local solutions. The digital future must be multilingual, and truly diverse. In the AI era, it is not how smart machines are that matters most, but how smart the people who use them are. Education is the key to this. As president of the UNICEF Executive Board this year, Estonia is deeply committed to advancing the global conversation on AI and education. For this reason, we are especially pleased to be co-hosting this event with UNICEF and to be hearing the perspectives of representatives from Kenya, Finland, and Estonia. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. We know that a number of countries are doing currently the practical works in order to start delivering AI at education. However, the global multilateral environment also to share the experiences and work with the different learning outcomes is as important as possible. I'm most happy to have another opening remarks delivered by Pia Brito, Global Director of Education from UNICEF. Please.
Thank you, President Karas. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, wonderful to be gathered here today. I want to thank Estonia for partnering with UNICEF on this discussion. And before I begin, I would like to recognize your leadership, Excellency President. What you've just shared with us, this Estonian experience, is that real formula of digital transformation. You've shown us how governance, trust, and innovation has come together. And that's a lesson we have to take forward as we continue to leap and jump with AI transforming education. Thank you so much, and recognizing your leadership on this. As was introduced by our Master of Ceremonies, to speak a little bit from UNICEF's point of view as a multilateral organization that's eager to bring change for the much needed situation of learning. For those of you who know UNICEF, you might be familiar with the fact that we have the global mandate which we proudly carry forward to advance children's rights. We work at system level with ministries of education in over 140 countries. We operate at scale, including, as you know, in some of the most challenging contexts around the world. We carry that responsibility to ensure that innovation strengthens public education systems. It doesn't bypass them. It's the key to acceleration and change. Now, we are at a moment where there's so much excitement about the potential of AI, but the other side of the page is we have a global learning crisis. We are looking at a situation where around the world, a majority of 10-year-olds, over 70% of 10-year-olds in low and middle income countries cannot read or understand a simple text. Juxtapose that with the enormous progress we're talking about in AI, but where the bulk of the world's 10-year-olds are not able to decipher a single sentence. This, you know, is hundreds of millions of children who are at risk of being left behind. So when we speak about AI in education, we have to talk not about marginal gains. We have to talk about how innovation can reverse structural inequity. And this is something I want to double down on. We have had EdTech for 3 decades, and EdTech at scale for 2 decades. And what have we learned from that? Devices did not create equity. Free tools did not create equity. Connectivity did not create equity. What created equity was an ecosystem that supports teachers, that protects children, and that's accountable to public systems. And this is where we bring together pedagogy and technology. There are roughly 70 million teachers globally. One teacher in some countries is teaching 30 children, in other countries 60 children at one time. Teachers are a very powerful multiplier in education. They are the primary infrastructure of equity. If AI strengthens their ability to differentiate instruction, assess progress, reduce administrative burden, we will see results at scale immediately. If AI assumes perfect infrastructure and high digital readiness, it is going to benefit those who have advantages already. So this is where the responsibility of our generation is very clear. No generation before us and no generation after us bears this core responsibility. We have to bridge the digital divide before it gets wider. This is a call to action to each one of us. And the way AI is leaping forward, we also know we have a time-bound window to make this possible. On the part of UNICEF, our digital education strategy and our EdTech for Good initiative reflect that long-term commitment to making digital transformation equitable, safe, and importantly, grounded in evidence. I want to take a moment to just go beyond the technical work because there's a much broader movement that is taking shape, right? Across regions, we are seeing an alignment among member states, technology leaders, development partners, that we need a shared operational framework to guide how AI serves children and learning. Right now, it is quite disparate. We need a framework to bring this together. That platform is being carefully shaped with partners. And we are very pleased that you mentioned the presidency of the Executive Board of UNICEF, Your Excellency, and playing this central leadership role in stewarding this collective agenda, ensuring that children's rights and system strengthening and equity remain at the core. But this is not a standalone initiative. It requires a movement that brings us all together, political commitment, industry action, system-level implementation to make it happen. And I want to leave you with 3 shifts that are essential to make this happen. First, no more pilots. We have to work at a system level. We have to change and transform the system. Second, we really have to move from these performance claims, it's doing so well, to real evidence on learning outcomes. Let's get serious. Our goal is learning outcomes. The claims are great, the PR is good, the marketing is terrific, but let's get learning outcomes. And here again, I want to double down on the most marginalized learners. You can see equity is in our veins. And the third, right now we have too many fragmented tools. I know we are in India, and we hear that every school has a different app, a different product. It's a lot of fragmented tools. How do we bring together interoperable ecosystems that ministries can sustainably manage? Ministries are telling us every day someone comes with a new proposal to them, a new idea to them. Let's try this, let's try this. How can we help ministries bring that interoperability together? And I say this because these 3 shifts speak to all of us in the room. We have researchers, we have tech builders, we have policymakers, you know what it takes to scale. So if we design with equity in our heart from the start, we design with the right governance model, we design with teacher innovation, we can help to close that learning gap. So, in balance, we are the generation who has to get it right, and future generations are going to look to us. So let's commit with equity at the heart of what we're going to do. We are going to shape this technology before that technology shapes us. We are going to create the consumers of the technology before the technology consumes us. And we are always going to keep at the heart and core of our work those who are at greater risk of being left behind. Thank you so very much for this work together, and looking forward to the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those fantastic opening remarks. And if I may try to summarize those 3 pillars, let's focus on learning outcomes. No more small pilots, but we need to scale it and make it work. And the impact is delivered on the ecosystem level. Those are exactly the words which match between the UNICEF goals and what has been the practice in Estonia and in many other countries. And this is what we are going to explore throughout the next half an hour plus with our distinguished panelists. I would like to call to the stage panelists. Ivo Visak, CEO of AI Leap of Estonia, please. Professor Petri Myllymäki from Finland, dedicated also to Finland artificial intelligence development, and Madame Meri Kerema, Kenyan e-government and digital economy secretary. Please. Just checking that the mics are working, and also just checking that everybody can see the members of panel. And wow, first reflections back from those opening remarks and keynotes, and there was one thing in the very heart, which is no more pilots but countrywide scaling, and that might take time. However, Ivo, exactly pretty much 1 year ago, President of Estonia was preparing for his annual speech for Independence Day of Estonia. And it was the first time 1 year ago when the AI leap became a matter of subject in the call of the speech of the President on the Independence Day. And now, the country has rolled out an artificial intelligence virtually in all the schools in Estonia. Can you elaborate a little bit what, in your view, has happened during 1 year, and what were the key success factors why, in virtually less than 1 year time, one country can deliver AI to all the schools?
First of all, thank you. Thank you also for the very good beginning speeches. Yeah, I would say that one of the main successes has been the understanding that we are not doing it only for a region in some part of Estonia, but we are doing everywhere in Estonia at the same time. So we give the equal opportunity to all the schools the same way. The schools can opt in, but they, of course, they can opt out also, but all of the schools, in all the Estonian high schools opted in, because it also meant that we are providing them not only with the tools, but we are also providing them with educational training that's needed for the culture to change inside the high schools also. And I would say that that is sort of one of the hardest tasks. We already see some positive results from that, but the culture shift inside the school, this is something that takes some time. I think another part of it is not only the schools part when it comes to the high schools in Estonia, but also I would say the general understanding that this is a cooperation not only by the Ministry of Education and Research, but it's a whole nation question. So we have a lot of Estonian companies who have come behind our initiative and are supporting the initiative in its first years. So in that sense, I think Estonia has had its previous success story with the Tigrihüpe or the Tiger Leap program. I understand that we have to be careful with that word in here sometimes. But otherwise, I would say that this program, the previous programs have been very successful. And it means that the public has generally quite a huge trust towards these kind of initiatives. So this trust still carries on. But I would say even now inside the school, a lot of the students, while we were piloting our version of the tools, the students themselves said that they trust our tool more because they trust it. So there's a general trust towards the system also. So I would say that the first part is trust building. If you have the trust, then people will follow also. But of course, you can't break the trust in that sense, that you still have to deliver also, and that's why we have a pretty immense pedagogical plan behind it. So it's a pedagogical program that's supported by technology, not a technological program supported by pedagogy. So we have to get that part right also. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In a nutshell, in Estonia, all schools are online already for good 20 plus years. All teachers have been used to use IT within the schools. The market has been divided between Microsoft and Google in terms of the core infrastructure being used at the school level, and what Estonia has done on top of that, delivering the learning outcomes in strong national language model. The special custom GPT from OpenAI has been developed for the learning outcomes delivery, assisting teachers and assisting students, not replacing students, not replacing teachers. Madame Kirima, it was highlighted also throughout the opening remarks that EdTech has been here for 3 decades, at scale 2 decades, yet it's not technology that delivers learning outcomes. It's an ecosystem, it's a school level, it's a teacher, it's a classroom practice level. What have been your experiences in utilizing and using digital technologies to amplify that classroom level, teachers level, and ecosystem level practices in Kenya? Push on. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Your Excellency, the President. Very good remarks that are thought-provoking, and I think we look up to Estonia for the many experiences that you've had. For Kenya, I think it is high time, and we've realized that without embracing technology, we will be left behind. And therefore, we've been deliberate, and we've been able to realize that really, if there exists an infrastructure that is stable, that is scalable, is the teacher. Because you can find limited connectivity, you can find limited devices, but you'll always find a teacher in a class. And therefore, looking up to Estonia, I think what we really want to do differently, and we've started doing, is to make sure that AI literacy for the teachers come first. Why? Because we realize that if we empower the teacher, then there will be clear ethical AI use, because it is in the classroom that it all starts. So we are also making sure that even as the teacher, we empower the teacher, we can ensure that that teacher can be able to protect and safeguard the students, and that is the child. Because without empowering the teacher, then we will realize there will be a lot of biasness, there will be a lot of misuse of technology. Again, we are looking at making sure that we are not substituting the teacher. And we've said that, and we found that if we educate the teacher is the multiplier. Because the teacher, you educate the teacher, you empower the teacher, then we have more than 100 students who can be supported by an AI-enabled teacher. So we are saying that AI should really be an enabler to the teacher, to support the teacher to do what they know best, but in a more efficient manner. And with the use of AI, then you are able to relieve the teacher from doing the routine things and concentrate in really unholding this student and making sure that they can be able to support the student well. Of course, as we also embrace technology, it is not coming without challenges, because you'll find that AI-based solutions are heavy on compute. But we are saying that in Kenya, we want to embrace models, we want to embrace systems that can be able to withstand or thrive in low bandwidth, or even work offline, where there is no connectivity, so that there is continuity. Because you realize as you move the country into depending on technology, then you have to ensure that that technology is available 24/7. Because you cannot afford to have an education system relying on technology, and then you don't have connectivity, you don't have light, power, and we don't want really technology to be a major exclusion tool. So therefore, we have to make sure that there is inclusivity. Again, I want to echo what the UNICEF leader said, that for sure, the use of AI has to be measurable. And therefore, monitoring and evaluation is key. We have to measure what is the impact. Are we really getting the value of what we are investing in? And one thing that I don't want to forget is, you know, the AI, there's nothing artificial about intelligence. It is coming to amplify the intelligence. And therefore, we should not fear to embrace technology, because we in Kenya, with partnership with UNICEF and MasterCard, we want to make sure we use AI for equalization. That for the people who have been excluded for years, that we can use technology to bring them on board so that nobody is left behind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In a sense, once again, we can witness the core truth. Teacher-centric emerging technologies and the models which could be used and utilized not only in a high bandwidth, high compute physical environments, but also making sure that it's available globally, independent on the technical ecosystem, and the teachers comes first. Thank you so much. Professor Myllymäki, quite a number of national initiatives are at the moment being stacked by the fact that governments, institutions claim to say that small nations, small countries can't deliver and adopt because it's only a game of two big countries and fistful of global tech companies. And we have no choice as a small countries except rejecting the value offer or going with the value offer. In Finland, a lot of attention is put also to the resilience and to the national AI infrastructure and core models. Could you share a little bit about the current path and the way forward which Finland is thinking about national level sovereign technologies which could be used and utilized also in the case of environmental applications?
Yes, so thank you for having me here. I think that's the very central question is like who is developing AI at the moment, and somebody said like, do we really have only two alternatives, that it's the hyperscalers, big tech, who build it for commercial purposes or for commercial incentives, or is it countries who lead this and they may have some kind of surveillance and geopolitical ambitions, while I guess we would like to have AI-based products and services that are useful for everybody and still they respect human rights and they are safe to use and we understand how they are going to be used. So as an example, like there are many global initiatives that try to also here, I have seen many people talking about this, like let's try to build a kind of a common movement that we can build AI together, pooling small languages together, building large AI infrastructures together in this kind of a third path. But it's still, we are still far from that. I learned in UN that there are several really well-meaning organizations like, well, the Summit series is one, there's GPI, there's AI for Good, Hiroshima Process, and several other initiatives that are really meaning well. They all have good intentions, but the analysis that was done by the secretariat in UN was that UN has, if I remember right, 193 countries. In these global initiatives that mean well, 7 countries are in all of them, and 119 countries are in none of them. This cannot continue. I mean, like, it's really this digital divide becoming an even deeper AI. That's going to happen unless we now tackle this problem and do something.
Thank you so much. The call really for recognizing the importance from the central government perspective to participate in the global AI dialogue is probably something also which is taking place right now here in Delhi on the AI summit, where so many institutions, organizations and governments are present, and I believe most of the governments have recognized that 2026 is a year to focus on actions and adoption. I would like to ask all the panelists really about the same motif. Is 2026 the year of focusing on adoption, or should we still wait for another year or two and then start making AI something which is integrated to the fabric of our societies? Well, Ivo, let's start with you. I see you are so intrigued already by that question. Is 2026 the year?
Yeah, it is a year. But I would say that in a lot of ways we are already doing it anyway. I think doing nothing has never been a good strategy. This kind of waiting out game doesn't really work, especially in a school environment where a lot of really bad ways on how students can work with this technology will just get more entrenched, and they will keep using these kind of methods. They can learn these methods, and then they will just continue using it. So I would say that this kind of a interruption has to happen, and this interruption has to be I'm very much in the same line that it comes down to teachers, it comes down to supporting teachers, and at the same time I think one of the key aims also is to make sure that we work with companies, even when we talk about these big global players in this world, we still, as governments, as organizations affiliated with one or another government or country, we have to make sure that these companies also provide the technology which is meant for the country's education system, not for the vision of these companies' idea of education. So that is one of the core philosophies that we have to always keep in mind, that the country's education systems are the sayers of what's going to happen. It shouldn't be the tech. So we have been thus far very happy with our partners. So this year we have been working with both Google and OpenAI, and currently our collaboration thus far has been very good. So there is possibility for that, but it also means that you have to be very frank about what you want. When it comes to sort of, is it the year of impact? I would say so, because we also have a research project happening from University of Tartu side in Estonia by Professor Jaan Aru, and we are also having a research partner in US from Stanford University led by Professor Susanna Loeb. So in that sense, we are measuring exactly the impact on learning outcomes. And Estonian education system is very knowledge heavy, but we want to make sure that we are only not focusing on knowledge, but we are also focusing on can these tools be supportive of learning skills, so that students ask more on why they are really learning. And I would say that in general, if by 2026 the countries haven't sort of understood that there's a huge mirror in front of them, I would say that AI is both a good and bad technology for education system, and I would say that one of the bad reasons is a very good reason. It's really disruptive to a lot of very bad methods that are still entrenched in our teaching practices also. So I would say that every education system kind of has to look into the mirror and ask, is there really point doing the stuff that I've been doing for the last 20 years? Is there any point to continue doing it like that? Or do I have to change my teaching methods? Do my colleagues have to change teaching methods? Probably yes, and a lot of these teaching methods have been the things that our educational psychologists have been saying for the last 30 years. So that's that.
Fantastic. Madame Kirima, is it year of action? Is it year of sitting and waiting?
I would say that we are even late. So we have to run. I don't know whether we'll fly for us to catch up, because I think we cannot bury our heads in the sand. There's so much going on. There's so much usage of AI. Even in schools, the students go to universities. The lecturers are complaining that they give assignment. The research are based on AI. ChatGPT, tell it and it will give you. So therefore, do we sit and wait for our people to use technology in a wrong way? No, we need to up our game, position ourselves to safeguard our people in proper usage of AI. AI is good. Amplified intelligence is good, but you need to put systems, you need to put guardrails to make sure you can protect both the teacher and the student. But we should have embraced AI like yesterday, because it is transformative if it is used in the right way, and I've said that it is an equalizer. If you really sit down and take the fluency in AI, you'll understand what it can do for our countries. So therefore, 2026, we are too late. We should have done it, and we need to do it. And I like what my colleague speaker said. we need to ask ourselves the hard questions. Is it still valid for us to do things the way we've been doing them? We need to shape up, because if you look at our universities and look at the curriculum, it's no longer fitting the market. And that's why the students are asking, why should we go to school? So therefore, if we don't change the way we are doing things and embrace the new way of doing things, we will be left behind. We'll be left with our universities, and these young people will go forward. So therefore, we need to change before the students change us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know that it's not yet a common understanding, however, there is a connotation which I have been using. As we go to the supermarket and on the milk, there is a best before date. University degrees should have similar best before date, not claiming that the future is brilliant after going through my bachelor's or master's degree, but you need to come back in 2 years' time maximum in order to renew and to reskill yourself. So at university level, at research level, what's your point? Do you support the action, or should governments wait still?
Well, maybe I have been working professionally in AI since '87, so my perspective may be a little bit different from some of the newcomers in the field. So, I mean, and people always, they ask, like, when is AI going to be more intelligent than a human? And I said, like, well, that train left 50 years ago. I mean, depends how you, I mean, they are computers are much better in calculating things and in many things. Searching information, they have read the whole, now the AI has read the whole internet and can remember everything. So they can surpass us in certain tasks. So I don't believe that if we wait for a couple of years, there will be some wonderful, super omnipotent AI that will solve all the problems in the world. We need to, as you said it very well, we humans, this is a technology, and we humans need to solve our problems. We can use this technology to help it, but by the end of the day, it's humans building new services and products and systems for other humans. So, and then maybe I would like just go full ahead, but like maybe just calm down a little bit among all this hype. Like my favorite anecdote is that when ChatGPT was launched, we had a panic meeting at our university, like, oh my God, what are we going to do? AI is going to write all the essays of the students, so they will learn nothing. And the first half an hour, everybody was panicking. Literally, people were screaming, like, what are we going to do? Then somebody said, like, wait a minute, wasn't this possible also earlier, that you could ask your fellow students to write the essay? Or there are even commercial services online that you can buy essays. So it's just easier, you push a button. But like, what did we do earlier? And then the remedy was that we tried to explain to the students that the point is not to have yet another essay in the world. The point is that you will learn how to do it. By all means, utilize AI tools as much as you can, but like, you need to learn something on the way. So otherwise, this is not learning at all. So I would like encourage this type of mentality, that maybe sometimes cool down a little bit and think like, what is really going on, and what is new and what is old, and how can we utilize this wonderful technology that is improving all the time? How can we augment humans in what they do as well as possible? And who is going to do this? Because let's remember that in particular in education, if we have a system that the students use, if it only works well in English, that's a kind of a value statement. If the value framework is, let's say, Californian, then that's only one value framework. In other parts of the world, we have different values. So I don't like this idea that one size fits all, because it doesn't. So we need to be very careful who develops this technology for us all.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting closer to the very end of our panel and this session. Before we conclude, however, I have one very quick exercise for all our three panelists. Imagine, and this is something what human can do much better, I would say, compared to computers. Imagine yourself in the situation where you are in the elevator with a minister of education and research from another country, and the minister says, tell me, what should I do with that AI? And the elevator started to go up. You have 20 seconds. Ivo.
Well, I really liked what Petri said. I think, first of all, calm down, take it easy, take a deep breath, and like, first of all, really think what's the point of education system, and then I would go to what Mary said, that there's always been teachers. If they need help, upskill them, and make sure that if you decide to provide technology, make sure that you provide it in an equal manner.
And the elevator arrived, ding, and minister gets out saying, thank you. Mary, what's your elevator story? Please use a mic here.
I think my elevator story, once it lands, I'll be asking myself, how do I humanize technology? Because as my colleague here said, it is really asking yourself, how can I utilize this technology to make me better, to make me more efficient, rather than fearing it? And I believe any technology that comes our way, it has the goodness in it. I know I've been in government for the last 27 years, and when technology started being used in government, I remember the old guards were like, no, this is a no-go zone. Then everybody was fearing technology. But the moment we started implementing systems, now people say we can't do without the technology, because we started with making sure we computerized and take services online. So because of the convenience that it comes with, people want to be served at their doorstep. So with AI, let's embrace it. For me, once the elevator lands, I'll get on it and use it, but use it prudently.
Super. Elevator arrived and action started. Petri.
Yeah, of course I should try to influence the minister somehow, but like, I just have a story. I hope that it's kind of gives a positive signal. This is related to education. Some of you may know an online course called Elements of AI. We developed it in Finland, and it translated to all EU countries. It has reached 2 million users at the moment, so it's a nice one example of nice tool where people can themselves, whoever, this is not meant for university students, this is meant for citizens at large. So why I brought this up is that I like when you can see this as a statistical experiment, like who is willing to learn about AI. This is very simple, elementary, as the title says, Elements of AI. So given an opportunity, you can use it on your phone or a laptop or a pad or whatever. Who is willing to learn AI? And to my surprise, in the Nordics, well, half of the users are female, which is not perhaps surprising in the Nordics, but even globally, we have users all over the world. I think almost half of the users are female, while I thought, like, well, you know, it's mostly the stereotype is that young males, engineering type of nerds are those who are most interested in learning about AI. It was everybody. It was also senior people. I think like quarter of the users are over 50 or something. So kind of the positive signal is that given an opportunity, people are willing to learn about this new technology, and they should learn so that they can resist misinformation and all the hype that is around us.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, our session has come to the end. We have learned and shared good practices. And once again, 2026 is a year where students are using AI, most of the schools are not. Lawyers are using AI, courts are not. Civil servants are using AI, ministries are not. Regular clerks and people in businesses are using, companies are not. It's a shift which needs to take place. It's not about convincing end user, but making also institutions, organizations, and ecosystems benefit of that technology. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Thank you so much for the time. It was a pleasure.
Everybody, sorry for the audience, I have an announcement.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, yeah. Turn it on and say.
okay, yeah. Sorry, while the pitch is being taken, I have an announcement. This is to inform you that all sessions today will conclude by 4:20 p.m. All participants are required to exit the Bharat Mandapam venue premises by 4:30 p.m. and the session teams must ensure timely enclosure in accordance with security protocols. The expo would be open till 8 p.m. You could visit the expo as well. Kindly ensure that you adhere to these instructions and leave the